Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the Culture Nerd Podcast. This week we're going to be talking about the big three that are destroying July, apparently. 2025's Barbenheimer event, Jurassic World, Superman, and Fantastic Four. Three huge films, all within 3 weeks. Apparently the studios do not care about fighting, but we shouldn't have to fight. We should just all have a great summer. So we're going to talk about how fun all three of these movies look. Talk about some other random stuff. Michael's going to be talking about Pokemon like always, but we're going to be talking about some fun stuff. So sit back, enjoy the show, and let's go. I didn't drop it. My bad.
That's okay.
Well, here we are. We missed last week, and apparently neither of us really noticed. So we were like, oh, wait, we didn't do a show. My bad. But in the past week, we've had brand new trailers for Jurassic World and Fantastic Four.
I want to gush about all these trailers, and we will do that. I want to say, though, I dislike that they have to create an event to hopefully guarantee people go to the cinema. Because of these three movies, the last Jurassic Park movie really let me down. And that franchise is all over the place.
It's all over the place.
Did you like the James Bond dinosaur movie where they're cloning humans and selling dinosaurs in the Illuminati basement of that rich guy's house?
No. There are like stuff I liked about it. I thought the selling of the dinosaurs was too cheap. In my mind, I was like, why are these dinosaurs going for less than most houses in California?
Sure.
I feel like people would be like, that T-Rex is worth $100 million, not like $25 million. I bought a T-Rex. I'm like, that's all? That's a realistic number. I was expecting way more. Like the bidding war just seemed like I was expecting like, I don't know. It just, to me, it seemed like someone like Elon Musk could have walked in and just bought all the dinosaurs and not even cared.
Right.
It seemed like the numbers were too small.
And he would let them loose in national parks and say that's where they belong.
Exactly.
As he ruins our country. Listen, I will let you know because of those negative opinions. Now we'll talk about the trailers. I have not watched this Jurassic Park trailer.
You had one job.
I had one job. I'm sorry. Who are we seeing front and center? Is that Bradley Cooper?
No, not at all. It's an unknown. But so the movie is going in this very interesting direction where they're going to go back to Site B, the island of Lost World, the one that didn't blow up in the volcano that took out the other one.
Yes, yeah.
Basically, it's been X amount of years since dinosaurs just got all over the planet or whatever, and the world's kind of bounced back from the fact that dinosaurs are just here now. They had allegedly found that there's this cure to cancer or heart disease, some cure to some disease that's like, they basically found that it is inside the blood or the fluid of certain dinosaurs. So they're going to Site B to basically extract DNA out of three big bitches. And they're
Wasn't this the story of Avatar 2? Wasn't this the B plot where they kill the space whales because they suck out the special juice inside?
Yeah. That kind of sounds what it's like, right? But so they're going there to literally just get three dinosaurs' blood and just move on. But this is Site B. And they're going to go more into the craziness of Site B that we never had before. Because, I mean, Jurassic Park 2, Lost World, Site B was the front and center, and we just saw that it was more of a chaotic version of the other island. And then in Jurassic Park 3, they kind of touched on the idea that this island had a lot more hidden shit on it than the first one. And now this one, they're going full like, hey, by the way, they made some weird shit on this island, and some of the shit on this island was too scary for Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, so they just left it here.
It's interesting that they want to go scary because the first movie is scary. Yeah. And the second movie has some big scares, but then there's some big moments. The third movie is when the dinosaurs, they're scary, but they're scary because they're big dinosaurs. I don't know. Like the first movie has horror scenes. The velociraptors are like Michael Myers.
So
They're
I want to
stalking
show
him.
one shot to you, Michael, that makes me say, okay, I'm down for the weirdness. There was one shot in this trailer where probably a flashback when Site B was first being made. What the fuck is that?
Oh, that's a Demigorgon.
That's a Demogorgon or a Xenomorph or something. They were
Sure.
like, oh, we made a dinosaur. That's not a dinosaur, it's a Rancor. Like, we messed up.
Now, does this also then we get to have the bad scientist, the Asian scientist, his fingers are
so this group, this little hunting party is literally like 3 or 4 people going to the island to get some dino DNA and finding out there was way worse shit than they thought. And that's it's basically going back to the kind of a more of a conspiracy theory, like InGen did some weird shit, and let's talk about how do we survive this place. The cast is I'm actually pretty excited about it. I mean, you have probably one of my, I don't know, I'm not a huge Scarlett Johansson fan. Like I'm sorry guys, like she just
she's great.
No, she plays the badass hunter, but her partner, her smuggling buddy is Mashonda Ali, the guy who basically said they're taking too long with Blade, so I'm going to fight some dinosaurs now.
Sure.
And then we've got this unknown guy who's
he's a does feel like these are people not in Marvel, right? Like this is a friend. Like these people have signed on to do what, 3, possibly 3 movies.
Probably. I mean,
everything's in 3s.
Probably. I mean, this could be the start of a whole new franchise for all we know. But this trailer, just from this shot alone, has given me some okay, now this reminds me of what the original Jurassic Park book was talking about with some of the weird stuff that InGen was doing behind Hammond's back. And they did say that there was a whole aspect of this movie that was going to be pulled straight from the original book that wasn't in the original movie.
So I have to ask you, is Jurassic Park turning into Resident Evil Umbrella Corporation, where they got to go into a secret underground facility where then
wasn't that always the thing?
I mean, kind of.
That's what InGen always was supposed to be. InGen was the Umbrella Corporation. Like we have our face of what we're doing, but what we're doing was just to fund our bad scientist shit.
Does anybody come? Do you think anyone comes back? Do you think we get a FaceTime phone call from Jeff Goldblum?
It might be fun. I mean, it might be fun to have some cameo to connective tissue it a little bit. But there was one shot in the trailer where they're basically trying to get away from the island, and they find out there's a pack of Spinosaurs, like the big finny bastard from Jurassic Park 3, that are traveling with the Mosasaurus and basically hunting them in the water. So you have this whole boat sequence where they have the Mosasaur from Jurassic World, the big scary alligator monster that ate the dinosaur, being protected by a pack of Spinosauruses, the other bad guys from the other dinosaur movie. So it's
I'm letting you know, everything you're telling me is Avatar 2. We're going to be spending more time under the water.
Right. And so there's a lot of stuff in this trailer that just screamed okay, this looks like what I wanted the Jurassic Park. So I've told you before, there's 6 movies. And if I had to rank them, Jurassic Park 1, Jurassic World 1, and then the rest. Because
2 has that the scene where the T-Rex is pushing. It's got great Steven Spielberg scenes,
right? And that's why The Lost World is my number 3, because if you've watched The Lost World and especially watched the director's cut, where there's 20 extra minutes of random scenes to make everything feel a little bit better, I can see what they were doing, and I can see where the studio was just do this, and you're but Steven Spielberg doesn't get told what to do. And now it's weird. Jurassic World had a lot of promise. It just didn't quite nab the magic of the first one.
It's almost there. There's some good stuff.
It's almost there, yeah. But
it feels a little bit like Godzilla, though.
But the tall grass scene goes down as one of the best scenes in the franchise. Don't go in. And then the raptors are just murdering everybody. Cool scene. Better in the book, but cool scene. But there was a rumor. I mean, someone said that there's a scene originally from the book that's going to be straight adapted, and immediately the internet was like, I really hope it's not the compy scene where he eats the babies. And that was if it is, this movie's going to be, this is the horror movie. But I'm personally thinking it's the boat scene, because the boat scene was a scene that was in the first book that we never got in the movie. But for those who don't know, who haven't read the horrific novel called Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park, there is a scene in the very beginning of the book where an unexpected mother goes into her nursery and finds her newborn is being eaten alive by compies. And it was one of the most horrific ways to start a book. And 10-year-old me wasn't ready to read that part.
They kind of started
almost,
the second movie like that, right?
Yeah, they did. They adapted it kind of. But this was an infant, and the mom basically found the compies covered in blood that killed the baby. It wasn't like, oh, the child survived with minor scratches. It was like, no, they ripped that baby to pieces. It was horrific.
In a world where these 3 movies come out 3 weeks in a row, Jurassic Park gets the fun popcorn bucket. Does Superman get a fun popcorn bucket?
All 3 should get a popcorn bucket. I think if anyone
that's a lot of merchandise. They got to sell a lot of popcorn.
I don't care. I want to see, in my mind, what would be fun is like a Dino DNA canister popcorn bucket, like a Barbasol can.
Sure.
That would be fantastic. Throw that back. Give me that. Or it'd be like an amber with a mosquito with the popcorn inside of it, like something fun. I would just be all over that shit.
It's gonna be a dinosaur mouth that's open.
For Superman, Fortress of Solitude crystals. That's all you got to do. Just crystals, Superman symbol. Give me that. And for Fantastic Four, something 60s feeling. Probably maybe Herbie.
Maybe the car.
Maybe Herbie, like the robot. Just like you have the robot and his back is the popcorn bucket, or just like the car. Yeah.
Okay, I did watch the Fantastic Four trailer. I have enjoyed Marvel getting into genre. This feels like a genre. I feel like a lot rests on this movie being handled well.
I agree. Some of the things that I liked about the trailer, I did like the family dynamic. The Thing looks great. I liked it.
He looked good, and he also looked deformed like Quasimodo. His eyes. You were supposed to feel for him in that way, and I feel like they got it pretty good.
Yeah, and that was kind of what the vibe was. I mean, you got a lot of that fun stuff like from the comics. It really felt like a Jack Kirby comic. Like I was really excited with it. I wasn't super a fan of the announcement of the thing. I kept thinking this isn't going to work. This is going to work. I thought the trailer was fantastic. It kind of sold me. I'm going to go see it.
We didn't even see him in action shots. He looks like the Thing. He really looks like.
We saw the shot of him running, and I'm like, yeah, that looks how the Thing runs. Like
eyebrows, the Thing. It's almost like a hat. Yeah.
So there has been some rumors that this movie basically is the Fantastic Four. The main team were from our Earth, got lost in the quantum realm, and popped out in this new Earth. And
cool.
So that was one rumor. Not sure if it's real or not, but if you actually watch the trailer, you do see that scene where Reed Richards is writing all the math. There's a small spot where he's exploring the quantum bubble, the time travel bubble that Tony Stark would done, like the wormhole. You could actually see him having that written on the board. So he's looking for exactly what they found in the Endgame. So it definitely adds a little bit more credence to that rumor that the Fantastic Four, the reason why they're so advanced is because they're not from that timeline. They're stuck in this world, and then when they got thrown into this world is very familiar, but they have powers now. So it's like, all right, whatever, we'll just lean into it.
They're also setting them up that when they return to the golden timeline, that they'll be like Captain America, where it'll be like, just, you guys got some Yoo-hoo? What do you mean Yoo-hoo? Like, it's going to be like, everyone loves Yoo-hoo. It's a brand new event. Like, they're going to be a little out of time and space, and that's going to feel fresh.
Yeah, it's going to give us that vibe that we wanted more of Captain America from, but we didn't get as much. Because I definitely enjoyed every time Captain America did some old-timey comment where he's like, oh, I get that. Or I like, one of my favorite lines in all of the Falcon and Winter Soldier, all of everything post-Endgame was the Gandalf reference from Bucky, where he's like, I read The Hobbit when it came out. So like that was one of my favorite lines. I'm like, yeah, this dude is like 110. Like it makes sense. But it's funny because like people are kind of forgetting that the hype around this trailer, right? The Fantastic Four, the hype is there. People are loving it. They're talking all about it. I feel like people have forgotten that Captain America 4 comes out on Friday.
Oh man.
Like,
yeah.
The trailer has overshadowed the release of their next film.
A little bit. And also look at where this is set. This movie is bogged down in all of the Disney Plus shows and all of this kind of baggage to it, of which they've now changed 4 times. Why should people be excited to see it?
Right? I mean, it's funny because like
Taylor, I thought you were gonna have an answer.
I don't know.
Okay.
I am cautiously optimistic. Whenever I say this movie comes out on Friday, I mean next week, not tomorrow. Like,
Okay.
it's not like out in an hour. Like,
Okay.
it's out next week. But the fact that some of the clips they've already released, a lot of people are like, "Wow, the cinematography looks like a TV show. This cinematography is not good." And
that
then
cherry blossom field thing does not look
it
like
also does it also not scream Iron Man 2's final battle where they had the cherry blossom oracle fight? Like, it just seemed like I saw this 10 years ago.
Didn't they already do that same scene in Doctor Strange 2?
Probably they do that.
Oh, well, I guess that's an app. They go to the apple orchard
still, but like it just seems like you have all these horror stories from behind the scenes of how like Captain America was panned. They did reshoots. It was panned. They re-edited it. It was panned. It was re-edited. At this point, it could be 50-50. People could be like, oh yeah, it's great, or the reviews can tear it to pieces. But I'm very curious because
I wonder if if the issue is it's structurally being bad, or if like this is not where they want to see the character, and that I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think they know what to do with them.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna see it.
Shouldn't he be fighting all the bad guys from the TV show? Shouldn't he be fighting Baron? We spent a whole season, right? And he was buying illegal weapons in Germany.
Yeah, I mean, like, instead of going against a non-super soldier who's making jabs about not being a super soldier, fighting the Hulk, shouldn't he have fought someone who's more like on par with Captain America stuff? Because I don't think Captain America has ever fought the Hulk as like a main plot line for a comic. Right? I mean, that's never been really a thing. It's like he fights other super soldiers, he fights more political villains. But this time around, we're fighting the deep state and the corrupt president, and also the leader from the Hulk is the villain who makes the president a Red Hulk. Like, there's so many things that I'm just like.
Also, and I don't. You don't have, if you know, you don't have to spoil it. But is the implication of a Red Hulk also that a Green Hulk shows up? Like, is that also something that maybe we're going to see in the first after the second week of trailer shows? Banner saying, "Not today, Red Hulk."
It would be. I don't know. I still don't like that they made Smart Hulk a thing because he's not as fun to watch. He's just like, oh, that's cool. It's just a whiny Hulk because
yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, you have the leader in this film. They've already released Funko Pops and merchandise showing that this dude who hasn't been seen since the Incredible Hulk and had that little drippy on his forehead has been a green giant foreheaded dude who now is apparently a factor.
The same actor?
Like Tim Blake Nelson, I think. Yeah.
He's great. He's
fantastic.
He got turned into a hornet toad.
Yeah. I get the reference. But yeah, so like we have him, but we also have a random character who's been added in post to add more.
Is Ironheart in the movie?
No. I hope not. They would make no sense.
I saw the part of the trailer where he hit on the ground and his wings went in and his robot mask flipped up. And I'm like, you turned Captain America into another robot guy. There's too many robot guys. And from an aesthetic purpose, sometimes Ant-Man looks too much like a robot guy.
Yeah. And I have to say that I'm really not loving. I know this has already turned into like an episode where we're just complaining about Marvel, but
you know who doesn't look like a robot guy? Everybody in that Fantastic Four trailer.
Yeah, right? Fantastic Four trailer looks amazing. Even the robot looked fantastic with his little like robot-y like 8-track eyes. Like I thought that was amazing.
But he is a robot playing a robot, not a man pretending to be a robot.
Right. It's just one of my critiques of Marvel post Black Panther was the unnecessary use of nanotechnology to just hide the fact that they don't want to put masks on the actors. Like, I could not stand every time in Infinity War, Endgame, and everything since that they had these magical retractable masks that have nothing to do with anything and that just looks silly. Like, I think that transition where you have a physical mask on looks like, take the mask off, do the Captain America, take it off, have him move his hair around, make it realistic. But when you take the Spider-Man movies and you CGI the mask off of all the actors, it just looks weird.
They also stole this from Guardians of the Galaxy and didn't understand that character, that is his space mask. He puts it on so he can breathe when he's in space. It's space technology.
And even then, like, James Gunn actually went out of, if you watch those movies, when Star-Lord pulls his mask off, it actually looks like it's going to where he's got the piece. All of these other films, it's like, where's it going? Like, does he have like a like Iron Man, you had it all go back to his chest. Star-Lord had that thing on his back of his ear that it went to. You could, if you can watch that, these directors made an effort to show where the nanotech went. But Black Panther and literally every other character that's had these removable masks, their masks come off and just obliterate into nothing. And it's like, wow, you guys are just, no. It's like, I loved seeing Wolverine in the mask, but also I still wonder, like, where did he pull out that mask out of the back?
Doesn't matter. He pulled it out and it was cloth. It wasn't cloth.
And then it became hard as he put it on. But yeah, there's just a Marvel thing lately where they're doing that a lot. And I'm like, guys, I enjoy the weirdness of Captain America taking his helmet off and having helmet hair. Like, I want some of that realism back. Sure. I'm going to accept the fact that you've got this dude with wings flying around. I'll accept all of this, but it's like, I don't know. To me, it reminds me of that argument when Ninja Turtles 2 came out, that the studio basically said, okay, the professor can't be an Utrom because we've accepted giant mutants, we've accepted 6-foot turtles, but we're drawing the line at aliens. It's like, what? Like, that's where you hard stance this? Like, I can accept a lot of these movies, but my hard stance is the weird costume changes.
So I feel like the Fantastic Four movie plugs into all these other movies I'm hearing about, these next Avengers movies. Does this movie plug into the next Avengers movie?
That's the question. I mean, from what I understand is that this movie, part of the ending, I mean, the whole major plot is that you have the major world powers trying to fight over the Tiamat Island from the Eternals. So they're finally explaining that the Eternals did happen. They're finally acknowledging it.
Did it? Where's Harry Styles? I don't know if it really happened.
Yeah, but I mean, Tiamat's there. So basically his crusted body, when they stopped the whatever that event was, turned into a giant pot of adamantium. Now the world is fighting over the body to get the adamantium.
Is Black Knight going to be there?
I don't know.
Moon Knight?
I don't know.
Is Moon Knight ever going to show up again?
He's supposed to. They have a plan for Moon Knight. But it definitely sounds like at the end of this movie, Anthony Mackie's going to be doing like I'm here to initiate you in the new Avengers kind of a thing, where they're going to do this new Avengers setup somehow.
Doctor Strange 3 is a buddy cop movie with Moon Knight.
Doctor Strange 3 is probably a buddy cop movie with Charlize Theron. That's probably what that is.
Space. Okay.
Yeah, in space. Like in alternate timelines and shit. Like they're just flying around. But I don't know. Like Marvel is doing some weird stuff, but I will say Fantastic Four looks great, and I'm glad that they're doing this is its own timeline, and we'll cross it over later.
It also sucks that we have to talk about it like that. The third image on our tease was Superman, and I'm assuming we're talking about Super Bowl Sunday new Superman trailer?
No, Superman's getting a Puppy Bowl trailer, but it's not getting a Super Bowl trailer because the studio realized that it's too damn expensive to drop a half-a-second tease, and they could use that entire budget to bombard the rest of the internet with better footage than a tease.
Great, so we'll just get it on YouTube.
Honestly, I forgot that Super Bowl was even this Sunday because I do not care about either team playing.
That's usually the way it
like,
goes. When
someone's like, "Oh, you're watching the Super Bowl this weekend?" I'm like, "I thought it was at the end of the month. What are you talking about?"
I'm only watching it because Kendrick Lamar is playing at the halftime show.
Maybe I'll tune it at the halftime, then I'll tune it back off.
Yeah,
but I'm not for. I mean, I don't care about the Chiefs, and is it the Eagles too? I haven't cared about the Eagles.
I watched one of our two teams in LA lose 2 weeks ago, and I have no idea who's playing.
I mean, I'm a Niners
but the
fan. We
Super
lost
Bowl
like
is
a
not
week.
about Super Bowl is fat food Thanksgiving. The reason why we as
Okay.
Americans celebrate it is because you don't get chicken wings at Thanksgiving. Now sometimes you do, but like not really. Super Bowl is a chicken wing apocalypse.
That's fair. Okay. But I know that we have the Puppy Bowl is happening like now-ish, and some point this weekend in the Puppy Bowl, they're going to be doing a crypto themed trailer for Superman. So
Fun.
that's fun. That's funny to me. But they're skipping out on Super Bowl Sunday.
Great.
And I think most people are, because the time slots are too damn expensive and it's not really worth it. They haven't ever actually found a correlation between showing a trailer in the Super Bowl and increased ticket sales. So
Yeah,
they just don't even bother anymore.
In a world of YouTube, what are we talking about? If something's going to go viral, it's going to go viral on its own.
Right. And it actually has. I mean, someone actually did the numbers, and the Superman trailer, so everyone is like, oh my God, Marvel did so good with the Fantastic Four trailer. The Superman trailer still beat it out by 30 million views in the first 24 hours. But both trailers have some amazing numbers. So
I also feel that they're two trailers that have a lot of heart and have a lot of people talking about feelings and hugging each other and cool
families
cool
and the importance of camaraderie, and like
yeah.
I kind of like the hopeful stuff again. I mean, Jurassic World feels a bit nihilistic, and so does Captain America. But Fantastic Four seems like we're a family, and this is why we're a family. And I'm like, that's right. That's what the comics are about.
Well, the world feels nihilistic, so Ohana means family. So I'm down for some families getting together and winning the day.
Yeah, I'm for sure. But on that other note, we before we wrap up, Michael's wearing his Pikachu hat. I'm sure you wanted to talk about TCG Pocket in some capacity, because we've been playing it a lot, and we've now understood how the trade system works. So we're finally trading things.
It's a garbage trade system.
Yeah, apparently the devs know it's a garbage system, and they're fixing it right now. That's why they're giving people free trade coins to to say basically, my bad. We're gonna fix it though.
It's the most egregious Pokemon thing. But if no one would have said anything, they would have. This is exactly the system that they wanted.
Yeah.
You have to buy a lot of cards to be able to do it.
And you have to sell a lot of cards to be able to do it.
I've been able to get a new meta deck. I'm enjoying. I don't know if I enjoy this meta a lot. I'm having terrible luck with this Cresselia event. And the fact that we can't trade promos means if I don't get this card, I will not have the card. And that's unacceptable for this 40-year-old
okay with oh, look, I just got the full art Mars that I was waiting on. I just pulled my my full art Mars, my pack for the day.
Hot dog. What an amazing, what a great. My pulls have been atrocious.
I got my first God pack from this new set, and that was
hot dog. Did you take a picture of it?
I did. I shared it with you already. You don't read your text. You're just really bad at this.
In the private, you shared it in the private, the company Slack.
You mean the chat that you told me to make specifically for this, and then you're like, I'll use it, and you used it for like a day, and then you left us?
I'm sorry. I conned our editor into trading me on my time zone, and then I forgot to help you.
This was your idea. You didn't even show up.
I don't get to open a pack for another hour and 33
Yeah, so minutes. I got my God pack, and I got 2 Cynthias, a Glammeow, a Staraptor, and a Garchomp. That was my God pack.
That's a pretty good pack.
Yeah, I was like, oh, fancy. So I
didn't know. I think they changed the drop rates for the worst, because I got moving cards and stuff like that, and my pulls for this one has been atrocious.
Yeah, it's been a weird set. But yeah, I mean, I'm liking it. Apparently there's a new event, not there's like another single pack intermediary set for the end of this month, and then another set coming out in like April.
Yeah, so I heard someone talking about it. They think the next set will be sooner because of Pokemon Day, and that they're going to try to align this game with all the other stuff. So I don't know if it's the mini set or if it's the next one. will say this is a little bit fast of a release cycle. I get it in 20 card decks.
But it actually kind of makes sense because, like in Pokemon Go, when that came out and the world was unified for that first week, they failed because they weren't going as fast as this. Now they're kind of learning their mistakes.
Well, I think the Creature team has so many cards to pull from that they're really doing a good job of
curating what they're doing.
And also, like, I think that, like, not only pulling from their art, but also like these exclusive digital only stuff. They're really great. And I can see, people want to get putting in that money to get them cards.
Right. Apparently Pokemon Day has another Pokemon Present coming out this year. It sounds like they're going to be showing actual footage of Legend Zygarde, ZA, whatever it is.
Is there going to be full 8 gyms, or is it just is it just Soul's Pokemon again?
So not sure yet, but they did kind of leak that the starters are going to be Totodile, Litten, and Snivy. So I'm okay with that. That's pretty cool. Totodile
they'll probably be different genres.
Right. It's supposed to have this similar art style to Scarlet and Violet, not the next one.
I really liked Scarlet and Violet as a game.
Yeah, and I would be way better.
And I would be fine if they just like did that game in another place. I don't know if we're going to get that.
Yeah, and so apparently Legend Zygarde is all basically set in the one city, and the game is all one city. It's like a megalopolis kind of a thing. Apparently on Pokemon Day, they're going to shadow announce and reveal that they're doing Black and White remakes, and they're coming out this November.
Sure.
That could be pretty cool. And so there's a lot of leaks that are coming out that may or may not be true, but it sounds like we're going to get a Legends game this year and then remakes this year. And then we're going to have our Pokemon drought for another couple of years. Then we're going to do it again.
Well, they'll probably make one for the Switch too, right?
Yeah. Well, every game is getting their own Switch 2 updates. So, I mean, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is getting a Switch 2 compatibility update, which includes higher resolution packs, better processing. Sounds like they're actually bumping up the graphics to be 1080p. And they're going to clean up a lot of the processing issues with the loading and the lag and stuff. So all the stuff that we knew was an issue, they knew it was also an issue.
Right.
But it sounds like Switch 2 is coming this year, and we're going to get a lot of cool stuff with it, and finally some more Pokemon stuff. So that's pretty fun.
Well, then we will have to wait for the Switch 2. Just like all of you will have to wait for another episode of The Cultured Nerd. Thank you so much to all of our wonderful Patreons. Head on over to the patreon.com/theculturednerd if you would like to become a member. If not, take those cell phones out. Please like, comment, subscribe. What would you like to see? What new Pokemon do you want to see? What Pokemon features do you want to see? What wild thing do you want announced on Pokemon Day? Taylor Murphy is your host. Michael Santel has been your co-host. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see all you kids and cats next time.
I think people are missing the fact that you just did like a thumbs up and you had fireworks fly all around.
Oh, yeah, they don't. I didn't know it happened. It doesn't. I have all the things.
There we go. Enjoy it, everybody. Back to the.
Bye.
Bye.